Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to deliver your September 2016 general readings. Thank you so much for continuing to watch and listen and subscribe and share and comment. Your feedback and support and comments are always welcome and appreciated. I love reading how the readings play out predictably for you, for those of you for whom they resonate. Thank you so much for taking the time to put the comments on the video channels, and also the ones that some of you take the time to send via email. I do read them all and I appreciate them. Thank you so very much. And always a special thank you to those of you who continue to reach out for one-on-one readings, which is my favorite thing to do. It's an honor. I appreciate the trust that you place in me to interpret and intuit the cards for you. And thank you to my clients for keeping me regularly updated with your lives. And if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading, you can click on the About sign, the little About button on my YouTube channel's homepage, which will give you a little information and detail on myself, the services I offer, and my contact information and email, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I do readings full-time, so I'm able to get back with you quite quickly and schedule a reading in a pretty timely fashion. My current turnaround time is anywhere from 4 to 5 days to about 10 days. Typically, I can usually get your reading within about a week and a half or so. So again, if you're interested, I would be delighted to work with you. Send me an email and we'll go from there. So I am continuing to use the Gilded Tarot deck by artist Cyril Marchetti, whom I'm a big fan of his artwork. And this reading is for Gemini for September 2016. And if Gemini is your primary sun sign, make sure to check your rising and your moon as well. It may or may not resonate predictively for you. Or if you're like me, you may find that each of your three signs, sun, moon, and rising, resonates for you in different areas of your life. So just make sure to check all three if you can for the monthly general readings and the mid-month readings as well. So let's get right into this reading. This is for Gemini, September 2016. Show me the energies for the air sign of Gemini, the twins for September 2016. Air sign of Gemini, Gemini the twins for September 2016. What does the month of September 2016 hold for the air sign of Gemini? Gemini the twins, September 2016. Gemini, Gemini, September 2016. Okay. Okay, we begin with strength. Good way to begin. Followed by the Seven of Swords. We have the Seven of Pentacles, followed by the Six of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, followed by the King of Cups in reverse, the Chariot, followed by the Eight of Cups, and from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and crowning card is the Seven of Swords. Let me just take a look at this, Gemini. Looks like somebody's hurt you, taken from you, depleted you in some way, left you feeling maybe kind of emotionally bereft, rejected, abandoned, and I'm sorry to see that for you, but it looks like there is some reflection and assessment energy on how to best move away and through this. And it looks like you do have some divine energies, divine timing and orchestration coming in to help you deal with this and give you advice and give you the strength that you need to deal with this or continue to deal with this. This reading represents September 2016, and it is a general reading, so it may play out a little differently because there's so many of you watching, but I am recording it at the end of August, and I feel like this is a situation which has kind of been ongoing. It's not just beginning right now, although for some of you it could be, but I feel like for most of you it's something that's maybe not long standing, but it's been going on for a little bit. So we find ourselves at the beginning of September 2016 with the major arcana card of Strength, followed by the Seven of Swords. So Strength, which this card represents exactly that, strength, but not so much the aggressive brute force, look at my big muscles, wave your sword around kind of strength. This is the kind of strength, more of a rooted, inner, grounded, inner strength that comes from dealing with challenges, that comes from moving through things, gaining strength from dealing with difficult things, facing our demons, facing our fears, doubts, insecurities, sort of a walking through the fire and embracing all of that. And then, of course, getting the strength and wisdom to move forward courageously into our futures. This woman is doing. You can see that she has tamed this wild beast, this lion, represented by the chain around its neck, which she's holding in her hand. But this chain around the lion's neck is very loose, and the chain, the end that's around her hand, is very loose too. It represents that she's tamed this beast more in a gentle sort of way, rather than, you know, a kind of a choke chain kind of way. It's can also represent coming to a full and complete acceptance of yourself, and it can represent, again, this wild beast, of course, can represent many different things for those of you watching. Conquering fears, doubts, insecurities, walking through a very difficult, challenging, or painful situation, facing it head on, dealing with it, and then coming out the other end of it, which is where we get this strength, where this woman has gotten the strength to put her head up high and courageously move forward into her future. And strength about what? What is this card attached to? What is this about? Well, strength, underneath strength, we have the Seven of Swords. Swords being governed by the element of air. Swords is a suit about that airy kind of intangible world of what goes on up in our heads. It's about words, ideas, belief systems, thought, outlooks, mental perspectives. The Seven of Swords is sometimes referred to as the thief card, and as you can kind of see by the picture on this card, this man has broken into somebody's house in broad daylight and has stolen a bunch of their property, symbolized by these swords. He hasn't managed to take everything. So remember that with whatever this actually specifically represents for you. He managed to take a lot, but not everything. He had to leave some things behind. And he's stopping in the doorway to look over his shoulder with this kind of sneaky, smarmy look, as if to say, look what I'm getting away with, in broad daylight, no less. So this card can represent actual tangible theft, like somebody stealing from you, you know, money, property, objects. It can also represent sorry about the noise. It can also represent a less tangible kind of theft. It can represent being exploited, feeling depleted, feeling taken advantage of, giving and giving and giving, and somebody always taking but never giving back. So again, you're feeling depleted, taken advantage of. It can represent things being hidden from you, secrecy, deceit, lying, kind of a slippery, sneaky sort of energy to this. Again, secrets, being taken advantage of, lied to, depleted, exploited in some way. But it looks like you have the strength, you're being given the strength. It looks like energies of divine are actually assisting you in this as well, in dealing with whatever this represents. Because whatever this man is stealing or woman is stealing or taking from you, Gemini, you have the strength to deal with this, to walk through this, to face it head on, deal with it, and find yourself on the other end of it and move through and away from this, this situation, this person, this relationship. So, and it looks like you're considering how to do that, because right next to that we have the Seven of Pentacles paired with the Six of Swords. So the Seven of Pentacles. Pentacles is governed by the element of earth. It is a suit whose energy is earthy, rooted, solid, dependable, reliable, sincere. It can represent actual, tangible, concrete things like see, touch, feel things like money, finances, resources, property, job, career, etc., tangible things. In love and relationships and spirituality, you can apply the same energy. It's tangible energy. It's things that feel real, or it's tangible results of the effort that we put into something. So again, for some of you, because it's tangible energy, whatever was taken from you or was, you know, depleted, could be actual physical stuff. For others of you, not so much. I feel like there is a huge emotional aspect in this as well. So the Seven of Pentacles is paired with the Six of Swords. The Seven of Pentacles is a card of reflection and assessment. It's a card where it's harvest time for this woman. She has planted the seed, she fertilized it, watered it, took care of it, pruned it. The tree is grown, the fruit is grown, it's ripe, it's ready to be picked. You can see the ladder so she can climb up. She's got the basket ready to pick the fruit. But she hasn't yet begun to pick because she's considering. Right now she's looking at the harvest. She's looking at what's grown and she's asking herself, was it worth it? Did I get the yield I expected to get? Did I get what I invested in this? Did I get more? Is it worth picking? Is it worth continuing? Should I plant another crop of the same stuff next year, or should I do something different? It's a card of reflection and assessment. If something is worth continuing investing in, if it's been worth continuing investing in. And it's paired with the Six of Swords. Again, that mental cerebral suit. The Six of Swords is a card that represents moving away from troubled, turbulent, challenging, difficult, or even painful times and transitioning into smoother, peaceful, more serene times. In other tarot decks, I've actually seen the water behind this boat be very choppy and wavy and turbulent, and the water in front of the boat be very smooth and placid and serene. The energy of the Six of Swords is transitional. There's like this place where everything is difficult and challenging, you know, whatever the Seven of Swords represents for you. It can be painful, it's very turbulent and chaotic, and then there's the other place where you're through it, you've dealt with it, you're settled, you're peaceful, it's laid to rest. This is the card that represents that in-between energy. You're not there yet, but you're moving towards it. It can represent actual travel too. It can represent travel over water. So for some of you, getting away from this, dealing with this, can represent travel as well. But I feel like this reflection and assessment energy of the Seven of Pentacles paired with the Six of Swords, for some of you it's going to represent, I think for a lot of you it's just going to represent how to deal with this, how to move through and away from this. For some of you that is going to represent, or in addition represent, actually not just dealing with it but physically moving away from it. This could represent a relationship that you've been in where you just, because of whatever's been going on, you're done and you're considering, one, is it worth continuing to invest in? And if not, then how do I move away from this? And maybe literally physically move away from it as well. Because it's left you feeling depleted, taken from, exhausted, emotionally, I think depleted. And for some of you, tangibly, physically, financially as well. We have next to that the combination of the Five of Pentacles paired with the King of Cups in reverse, whom I feel is kind of the root of this matter. The Five of Pentacles, again, that tangible energy. So for some of you, this depletion, this theft can represent actual physical, financial, property, resource matter. Others of you, it's going to be mental and emotional. The Five of Pentacles is a card of lack, of insufficiency, of need, of not having enough, being afraid you're not going to have enough, feeling like you yourself are not enough. Insufficiency and lack. You can see this couple standing outside of this church cathedral window. In other tarot decks, I've seen them, they look, you know, kind of homeless. They're outside in the snow or the rain. They're obviously in need. There's this beautiful light shining through this church window. And the implication being that just on the other side of that light is what they need. Resources, warmth, food, job assistance, an answer, wisdom, insight, clarity somehow. But they're actually only focused on their lack, what they lack, their insufficiency, whatever the negativity, whatever the gap, the hole, what they don't have is, or their fears and insecurities. This card can represent physical, financial lack or need or fear of that. And in an emotional and spiritual way, it can represent feeling rejected, left out in the cold, abandoned, not good enough, etc. And the root of it, underneath that, we have the King of Cups in reverse. And I'm feeling this as the actual, I feel like for the majority of you, this is the person, which is kind of the root of this. And for some of you, it could represent the person that is on the Seven of Swords card. In the upright position, the King of Cups. Cups is governed by the element of water, so it's about that watery, fluid world of feelings, emotions, relationships, love. It's about our emotional and feeling landscape and atmosphere. Kings and queens typically represent people, energies, but people as court cards who have reached the mastery of their suit, the achievement of their suit. So they're pretty grown-up people. They're mature, reflective individuals. They're more, they've learned, they've walked the path of life, and they're together. The King of Cups would represent, in the upright position, a very loving, nurturing, emotionally grounded and centered sort of person. In other tarot decks, I've seen this King of Cups. He's sitting on his throne in an ocean, in a body of water, and the water itself is very choppy and turbulent, but he's sitting on his throne very calm and cool and serene because he's very emotionally centered, grounded. He's loving, nurturing, great source of emotional support and feedback, always knows the right thing to say, great best friend, brother, husband, father, etc. In the reverse position, well, you can go to the opposite end of that spectrum, somebody who's emotionally unstable, who can be emotionally manipulative, and because he's a king, he could be like very good at being emotionally manipulative because he's very well versed at how to do it. So that compared with the Five of Pentacles, I feel like he or she, or whatever the situation that King of Cups, the energy represents, it's very emotional. It could be this person, this situation that's left you feeling depleted, exhausted, taken advantage of, even stolen from, left out in the cold, just feeling emotionally out in the cold, not good enough, and taken from, all of that energy we've already talked about. But you're considering on how to deal with this, how to move through with this. Is this worth continuing investing in? Is it worth fighting for? Is it worth, and if not, then how do I move away from this? Because I'm not feeling well. I'm feeling like I'm not enough. I'm feeling taken from, taken advantage of, etc. So at or towards the end of September 2016, Gemini, you have the major arcana card of the Chariot, paired with the Eight of Swords. I feel like this is your advice right here, and it could be the decision that some of you come to. The Chariot is a major arcana card, fingers of the divine, divine energy, divine advice from God, Spirit, your angels, guides. The Chariot is a card of swift, powerful, forward momentum. It also represents the harnessing of a variety of disparate forces, bringing them together and making them work in unison and harmony to propel something forward swiftly, successfully, decisively, by knowing exactly where you're going so you can get there in a very assertive manner, controlling all the aspects of everything it takes, bringing them together to move this thing forward through, away from something, away from this situation, relationship, person, etc. I feel like if this is not the decision you come to at the end of September, the advice is that you strongly do this, to move away from whatever this is, and do it quickly. That Chariot card is paired with the Eight of Cups, which is the card of leaving. It's the card of definitively having made the decision to walk away from something because you have found it ultimately dissatisfying, ultimately disappointing, not what you wanted, not what you thought it was initially going to be. You can see there's 8 cups on the ground behind this man. Some of them are tipped over and spilled out, and some of them are upright and full. The implication being that he has tasted and drunk from most, if not all, of these cups. And perhaps he thought at the beginning it was what he wanted. They were delicious. It was going to make him happy. But at the end of the day, disappointing, disillusioning, not what he wanted, not what he thought it was going to be. So he's made his decision to move on definitively already. This is not a decision-making energy card. Do I, don't I? He's already made up his mind to leave. His back is turned to us. He's dressed for travel. He has his hat on, his cloak on, his walking staff in his hand. The moon is full. He's surveying the horizon. He's just deciding which way to go, but he's already made up his mind to go. And attached to that Chariot card, major arcana energy, I feel like if this is not the decision you make at the end of the month, the universe is strongly advising and suggesting that you do it in as decisive, assertive, and swift a way as possible. Overall energy, crowning card is the Seven of Wands. Fire energy, wands being governed by the element of fire. It's about change, movement, action, power. The energy of wands is about creation, manifesting, building. It's action oriented. The Seven of Wands is primarily a defensive card. It can be a card of holding on to something you believe in, defending something you believe in because you have a strong sense of ownership in it, because of everything you've invested in it. You feel like it's being challenged or threatened somehow. You're defending it. You're standing in front of it. You're trying to stand by it. So whatever this situation is, this Seven of Swords, this King of Cups in reverse, whatever this situation, person, relationship, whatever this is, Gemini, it feels like maybe you're having a hard time, you're still trying to believe in it, you're trying to hold on to it, you've invested a lot into it. I've invested a lot of yourself, maybe time, love, money, resources, whatever. So you're kind of, it feels like for the first few weeks, maybe even for the majority of the month, you're kind of push and pull, you know, is this worth it? Do I continue doing this? Do I stand by this? Do I fight for it? Do I give it up? If I do, how do I do that? How do I move through and away from this? It's making me feel depleted, taken from, exhausted, maybe bankrupt financially or emotionally. But at the end of September 2016, Gemini, it is all about taking the reins into your hand, being swift, decisive, acting, and moving away from this because you deserve so much better. Go off and find your joy and fulfillment and your true foundation, because that's what you deserve. So Gemini, I hope you've enjoyed this reading. I hope it has I hope you found it useful, that it's brought you some wisdom and clarity and insight. And again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading, you can click on the little About button on my YouTube channel's homepage and email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. And until I see you all again in a couple of weeks for the September 2016 mid-month readings, as I always say and I always mean, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thanks so much for watching, Gemini, and I will see you soon. Bye.